copywrite, and we are back from the get-go where we last left off at, almost word for word we were actually left off at. So once again, everyone, thank you for joining me. This is part 3 of the playthrough for the demo, quote unquote, which is basically the entire first chapter of Monarch in English, which you can get online right now from the eShop. Again, excellent game, one of my favorite games that came out. Actually, it is my favorite game from 2021. And yeah, we just finished up with the second ideal. Gonna have Nozomi and the main character head back in and take care of the final one, the final ideal, which would pretty much take us to the end of our demo playthrough, which is a bit sad, but nonetheless pretty cool. So just quickly running through here and getting some of the systems off my screen. I always get kind of like meh when I have new or starred things I have to kind of take care of. But in any case, so I think for this one, obviously we have one last region to go through. Something I've been mentioning off and on through the playthrough was was basically like the acts. So the game itself is divided into 3 acts. So I think there are, I want to say 11 chapters. Chapter 1 is 5 parts. So Act 1 is, I think, 5 chapters. Act 2 is technically 4 chapters, I think. Yeah, because so sorry, I think it's actually 10 chapters long. I don't know why I was thinking 11. So it's 10 or 11 chapters long, divided into 3 acts. And Act 1 is basically the kind of the easy-ish tutorial system, so we get to learn about everyone and everything, get to unlock our skills, kind of get ready for the big stuff coming up ahead. So now we got some new equipment in there, got a few upgrades we can go for here. Always want to take a look. Yeah, optimize evasion, so we get a free skill there, which is good. Always want to be able to upgrade and customize as much as you can. And obviously, as I mentioned before in the previous videos, we want to dismantle whatever we don't need, because this is basically free levels, it's free experience. And as we will shortly see, it is important that we sort of keep progress going towards our level. And perfect, so right here. So there are things I just want to point out here. This one that looks like a bit like a crown, and this one here with the crown with sparkles. These are used in the awakened, they call it enlightened, okay. Basically, it's known as Madness Awakening in Japanese, but basically, these are the special skills I mentioned before. So when you are in the awakened state, you basically have access to the superpowered skill, and that's all the cutscenes that you see always on the demos and on everyone's Instagram, which are pretty cool. And when you learn these, as you see here, your magic gear actually transforms. So the next time we're in battle, my character was going to look different. So we're going to see that hopefully in just a little bit. In the meantime, it is important that we gain some power for everyone. So let me just have everyone learn a few extra skills here. Obviously, don't have the 8,000 for that one. Nozomi is quite tanky, which makes her really helpful. For this one here, like, she basically gains a boost for her attack power, which is really good. And what else can I learn? Cheap stuff, easy stuff. Yeah, so chance to inflict poison, I think, is a good skill to have here. And so these are actually really useful too for later on in some of the farmings, but I'm not gonna push it too much now. Let's just learn what we can. Alright, so not too bad. 8, 7, and 6. It's pretty good there. Took care of the leveling for the time being. And yeah, maybe we'll just take a quick look at some of the new customization options we have. So a new hairstyle. That's kind of cool. Lots of new colors here. So any good colors? Oh, green's kind of nice. And
very well.
That's a nice voice. So go for that one. And did I miss something? Ah, yeah. So it's kind of a strange little system there. Alright, and of course the map is the map. I'm not going to worry too much about that. And yeah, as usual, all of your stuff is in the help category here. So everything we've learned, everything I've been talking about is listed there, which is cool. Okay, so let's just save this up. Point reference here. You may have heard that sometimes they have little conversations in here. They actually, as a bit of a promotion, they actually have special, for the Japanese version, they have special battles you do where if you actually win, it has kind of seasonal conversations that are kind of unlocked through it. So
what they'll do to you, not to mention
it's kind of cool.
wound. Still, he's a pact bearer. If we destroy the last ideal, this whole situation has me on edge. Once everyone's released from his control, what if our power as the TSC, my power as the president, isn't enough to stop it? What am I supposed to... What do I want to do? I hate this mist. And I hate that barrier. I've had enough of this hopeless despair. And most of all, I don't want this crazy, upside-down world to get the best of me. But honestly, I'm still not sure. Thanks. That means a lot. But you know, I was the one who was supposed to help you. Not the other way around. You'd never know I was the older of us with the way I'm acting. I still feel uneasy about this. That much is a given. But I feel like I can keep moving forward at least. As long as you're here, I want to help you bring down Kurama in any way that I can. That said, if I lose my nerve again, I'm coming back to you.
Alright, thank you. And yeah, just note as well, I know I mentioned it before that I'm checking sort of any difference between the English and Japanese, and honestly, nothing so far. Everything seems to be intact quite nicely.
There's only once the pact bearer's ideals are shattered. There's a whole bunch of cafes I wanted, so make sure you finish, but try not to push yourself.
Believe me, there's a lot more we gotta do. Now, real quick, we kind of building up a little bit of our madness gauge.
One more to go. The school's rooftop should be completely covered in mist.
That is the case, and that is the last part. So let's head over and talk to Kakeri real quick. Also, I do apologize for the background buzzing if you hear that. I still have my heater on since I'm recording all this, and it's quite cold. So, sorry about that. Hopefully I can get some better equipment in the future.
Prez.
Some noise canceling.
Prez. Everything good?
You know it.
Glad to hear it. The honeymoon phase is always the best part of a new relationship.
What? Do you think every boy and girl who hang out together are dating? I know you're old, Dr. Kakeru, but really?
Get off my back. I'm still in my early 30s.
Are you? Your cluttered desk looks more like a toddler's. That wasn't a compliment. Ugh, if only Dr. Shironeko were here.
Yep, Shironeko.
Haven't you heard the saying, out of sight, out of mind? Leave things be, and you'll always know where they are.
She's another really cool character, too.
That's not even how that idiom works. People tidy things up for convenience. Incidentally, Vice President, did you know Dr. Kakeru's wristwatch has a dead battery?
Yep, it's been 11:45 p.m. for the past 10 years. A phone's good enough for telling time these days. People only ever wear watches for fashion now.
What are you so proud of? In what world is a beat-up old watch like yours fashionable? Your slacker attitude makes some people worry about the quality of care here, you know.
Well, that's rude of them. I know how to be in the right place at the right time. When I need to. If something needs doing, I'm gonna do it right.
That you will. That you will. But in any case, let's talk to him.
You seem kind of...
So that way we can get our madness. We wipe everyone's madness.
You're good to go. Don't push yourself.
Alright, cool. Alright, yeah. So I'm really impressed so far. It seems like the English localization did a really good job of trying to get, I guess, as much as possibly could close to the Japanese version. I don't see any glaring differences so far. Just maybe a few minor like interpretations, but otherwise not bad at all, which is pretty cool. So thus far, yeah, we talked about the core gameplay loops and everything like that, and this is pretty much how most of the game goes. After this, you'll have sort of a chance to go out and explore a little bit more, but thank you, Paul. But yeah, you'll basically have 3 ideals every single time, and you'll go through each floor one by one, following the same routine of new floor, death call, puzzle, and ideal breaking battle. So it's quite nice in that regard. Alright, so let's now make our way up. Oh, we can even go kind of downstairs here for that back doorway that was blocked before. Maybe we can find some documents and stuff, which is something that's kind of important. You always want to be searching around if you can. Again, trying to find new people to get registered, or in this case here, yep, there's like the advice column. All of these things help for building the collection up in your library, and there are actually kind of achievements for that sort of thing, which is good. And sometimes you come across documents that have new numbers. So for example, we came across the new number that allowed us to go into the training garden. So definitely some important stuff there.
No way.
I get how you felt now. Even just listening to Kurama's voice is pure bliss. I wish you guys could experience it too. It feels ecstatic. Just leave us alone, Nozomi. You don't have to worry about us anymore. This is our happiness.
I can't believe this. His mind has been warped. He's intoxicated by false happiness. I can't just leave them like that. I'm not going to let this stand.
And we won't. Definitely not. Alright, so of course here I think we can talk to a few people. Maybe we can get something new there. Okay, maybe nothing new. Oh well. So we can go through here. I'm not going to spend too much time looking around because honestly there's not really too much that we have. Obviously everyone's under control right now, so we can't really get that new psych test, unfortunately. So, oops. We got a new teacher's profile, which is good. Alright, let's make our way up. Do a quick save here. And let's make our way up.
It seems this place, too, is linked to the depths.
That it is.
This number connects to the singularity. Where's my thanks for all my charity?
As always, thank you. You don't need to wait. As soon as you enter the area, you'll automatically unlock the number here, so you can just get right into it. Take care of Pride 2. And just like every other death call battle you will do in this game, which you will do very, very many of, you just gotta knock out that core as soon as you can. And through some well-placed deterrents,
Let's go, Nozomi.
I'll be
You can
your
do it.
strength.
alright.
Here I
You
go.
see it, my armor chain, I kind of have that like chest piece, heart kind of necklace going on now, so that's sort of the new change up for my magic gear. But luckily, we won't need to do
You're
much.
open. We made it,
Throwing that
Nozomi.
is so
Good
helpful.
job. You were amazing.
And there we go. Now we don't have to worry about that for the rest of the time we're here. Forever. Okay. Now, one thing I guess I would like just to quickly demonstrate is going back to... We had the calls before, and I mentioned about the memo, fertile ground. So this is star, pound, star, star, pound, star. If you remember that one. So if we actually dial it in right now, if we dial that number, we get taken to the battle prep screen, and this should confirm, yes, fertile ground 1. And if we check right there for the victory, the clear reward, it's 100 spirit. So this is probably a good thing for us to give us a try. These are the ones you want to use for farming. So if you feel like you need a little bit more power in preparation for a boss or a certain battle, definitely be sure to do these sort of things. They are incredibly helpful.
You're open.
Here I go. Perforate. After you.
Understood. You're open.
I need it.
Here I go.
Game is taking a little bit easier on us than normally would, but
Away with
rest
you.
assured, in
I'll
later
back you
levels,
up.
this game
Here I
will
go.
get very brutal. So don't assume it's going to always be as
Enemy
easy as
down.
this.
I'm with you.
It is done.
Here I go. You're open.
Here I go.
Why don't we use that healing of ours?
Heal.
I owe you.
After you.
See, the more
Understood.
the more we keep using that, the more it's increasing the madness
this.
gauge, right? So you need to be extremely careful with that sort of stuff. But there
Here
are
I
some
go.
skills later on in the game where actually having more mad
Away with you.
actually does a
Here I
lot
go.
to help it. That actually does a lot to help you out. Because there are some abilities where the damage is completely
over.
contingent on the level of mad you have.
We made it,
And you can do
Nozomi.
some
Good
ridiculous
job.
damage.
You were amazing.
It's basically required for some of the endgame fights. As you see there, got 30, and then we end up getting an extra 100. And whenever you do this sort of manual battles, you always have the option to restart. So it sort of adds and makes farming a little bit easier. You do one battle like 3 or 4 times in a row, and then bam, you get a whole bunch of points you can use right from the get-go.
Ever heard of the lemon?
Alright, so with that, why don't we actually take advantage of what we have here, huh? Let's see. Any cheap abilities? Okay. That's really good, I think. And yeah, I think the lunatic wave is really one of the best things to do. And let's see, if we do it from Nozomi. I think level 9 from Nozomi should be pretty good. I think as long as my characters are all around level 10, we shouldn't have too much trouble with the battle, I don't think. And why don't we, while we're at it, take a look at the armor. Can we get anything good equipped here? No, not as powerful. I'd rather keep on what we have now. But, as I demonstrated earlier, go over to dismantle. And we can dismantle the ones we're not using. And get free experience to get another level. And that should help us huge amounts. So, let's solve the puzzle now.
Living alone is
Yes. So apparently this Sato person has an
Living
issue.
alone is practically the same as dying
ever heard of the lemming effect?
The sky is so pretty.
Go over here and collect some items. Some detoxes and stuff, which is good. Okay, what have we got in here? So Namikawa has some issue with their lateness. So apparently there's something going on with this graduation that seems a bit suspicious.
The graduation ceremony is at a standstill.
So we can go here real quick. Collect some items.
I told you already. No one's getting through.
Open this door, Mr. Namikawa. We have a graduation.
Are you freaking kidding? Get the hell away from me with that shit.
He's holding the door shut from the... Can you try talking?
Piss off already.
Yeah, so the notes basically gave us this third option, just like we did for before. So pretty straightforward.
Me? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Idiots. Every last one of you. Crazy, cocky, selfish idiots. I don't care anymore.
Sounds like things are getting serious. But yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff. So cool. All right. So I think we got what we need in here. Clear the puzzle. But rest assured, the later ones get significantly more troublesome.
Graduation always brings a tear to the eye, doesn't
so that's
it?
what graduation means. That's something. Yes, this game doesn't really shy from that, so it gets significantly more.
They're crazy. Every last one of them.
Yeah, it's interesting, this game.
The view from here is amazing. I'm so glad I was alive to see this. The view from here is amazing.
All right,
I'm
we're
so
closing
glad I was
in,
alive to see this.
which is pretty intense. All right. So I don't know how it's going to work after this, but from here on out, things are going to get pretty much wrapping up for the end of the first chapter. Honestly speaking, this part is really cool. It's one of my favorite parts of the whole game. So I think once the cutscene starts, I might just cut my mic real quick, and yeah, it should be fun. So catch you guys in a bit. Hope you enjoy this part as well. Cheers.
You've come.
Kurama! How are your injuries?
A wound like that is nothing in the face of my authority.
Right. The authority of pride. It lets you control the human body, right? Which means it can heal wounds, too.
How insightful of you. That being said, it's very like you to be so concerned about your opponent, Hinata. You're the very picture of foolishness, you know. You made it this far, all for the sake of destroying my ideals. That alone is proof that you have failed to comprehend the extent of your stupidity. My way is the path of justice.
Your definition of justice is no one but yours. You're the only fool here. Your beliefs are flawed, and yet you proudly believe they're infallible. But I'm not like you. I know my definition of justice isn't absolute. I have my weaknesses, my anxieties. But despite that, I can't let you get away with what you've done. I will stand by my ego.
Your ego? Despicable! No person in any position of leadership should ever utter such drivel. Ha! It would seem I was the ideal candidate for student council president after all. I make decisions based on what is just, not what I desire. Will no one but me think of the people?
You keep talking about justice, but in the end, it's all just to stroke your own ego. I'll admit we're similar, but you're far more short-sighted than I am. You care only about yourself.
No, you're wrong. At the very least, I am not one to boast about my ego like you. Anyone so proud of their own selfish wants is not fit to lead. You never deserved to be president of the student council.
Your opinion is the same as your justice. No one but yours.
What did you say?
It was our peers who elected me as student council president. I have my own values, my own justice. My ego dictates that I do what I think is right. I was elected because others resonated with what I believed in. Those beliefs will hold fast. They didn't falter then, and they won't falter now. It's as simple as that. I will always do what I think is right. There will be those who will agree with my values and those who won't, and that's fine. I know I can't please everyone, and I'm not trying to. I just want to do the right thing.
Fool! You brandish your self-centered philosophy and deceive others. Your very existence is evil. You don't care about anyone else.
Unlike you, Kurama, I don't decide what's best for people myself. I recognize that everybody has their own will. You steal that will and turn them into your puppets, plunging them into a joyful despair. In my eyes, I determine that it's you who's beyond redemption. You and no one else. It's for that reason that we will defeat you and the other Pact Bearers and return the Academy to normal.
You only say that out of ignorance to what awaits you. You've no hope of besting me. Your defeat is inevitable. Without me, the remaining students will be lost to despair. They may even perish.
You're letting your pessimism rule you, Kurama. I, for one, don't plan to give up.
It's your logic that will bring harm to others. That in itself is evil. I will never allow it. With that, I shall save you both. I shall stop you with my authority. You will know what justice is. Now, come and remake these fools in my image. Superbia.
Superbia. Who knew? I smell a pact between those two.
Vanitas, is that you?
Indeed it is. Oh, right. Ahem. Here I come.
You remembered. Anyway, does this mean you're going to fight alongside us? You are the Vice President's Monarch, after all.
Now, wherever did you get that idea? I make it a point to avoid direct participation. This fluffy body isn't built for brutal confrontation.
I guess Chio's practically got you on a leash anyway.
Yeah.
I've made up my mind, Vice President. We're going to defeat Kurama and come back safely. For Chio and all the others.
Let's go, Nozomi.
I'll be your strength.
Here I go. You're open.
Here I go. Perforate! After you! Of course. It's over!
Oh, I alone am right.
Get ready. I won't back down.
Here I go. Perforate! After you!
Leave it to me. Away with you!
Oh, I alone am right.
Here I go. Away with you!
Here I go. Heal!
I owe you.
After you!
Leave it to me. I won't back down.
You are beyond mercy.
Here I go. I won't back down.
Here I go. Perforate! After you!
I can do this. Take this.
I'll set you straight.
So this is madness.
I have to stay focused. I want to help you. Get up. Thanks.
I'll set you straight.
So this is madness.
I want to help you. After you. Of course. I want to help you.
So this is madness.
Heal. Thanks.
set you straight.
So this is madness.
I want to help you. I won't run away.
So this is madness.
After you.
I can do this. Resonate. I'll show you irrational. Control the madness.
Dispose of them. I love this part.
Oust them. I'll sever you down to your soul. It's over.
Here I go.
I'm with you.
Hang in there. Nice job, payback.
Here I go. You're open. But I am. We made it, Nozomi.
Good job. You were amazing.
Fools. As if you could even...
Shatter the ideal before he can act. Doing so will render void his pact.
The road was wet and red. The light, too, was red. Had I stopped him, he would have never been hit. I knew it was dangerous, and yet I did nothing. And now, he'll never come back. Why? Why didn't I stop him? I can still hear his screams. I can still feel that woman's slim fingers digging into my shoulders. You killed him. I thought the same myself. It was because I didn't stop him. Because I was foolish and weak. She was right. I killed him. Never again will he get to come home. To smile and play the way he once did. The fault lies with me. I've lost the right to cry, no matter how sad I am. I want to become a righteous person, so that no one ever has to suffer by my hand again. I don't want to be a fool any longer.
The ideal of will contains a wish's formative events. The trauma endured from losing a friend cost him his innocence.
I suppose we're not that different after all. Come on, Vice President. And thanks for everything.
All right. Nice. All right. So hopefully the microphone's working now. So there we go. That is the entire chapter 1 of Monarch, and as you can see, it's the perfect place to end out. For those of you who have checked out my first thoughts video that I dropped way back in October, the song that you just heard for that boss battle is Ash. It's called Ash. It's by Kokoro, or Koko I should say. The kanji, it's all in Japanese. The kanji is basically like shiawase, and I think hard it is. So it's by Koko, and yeah, it is amazing song, Ash. All of the boss tracks you've heard basically come from a collaboration with, I think it's Kamitsubibashi Studio, I think it is, which is basically a virtual, sort of a virtual idol or virtual music group. So yeah, that's one of my favorite parts of the game. So obviously, I definitely definitely wanted to keep that part in there without me kind of putting any spoiling for it, and just the whole way it concludes is a really beautiful, strong first ending to chapter 1. So I hope you enjoyed going through the demo or the chapter 1 with me. This is obviously this is one of the best games I've played, honestly, last year, and it's definite must love for anyone who enjoys these sort of strategy games or JRPGs. And yeah, if you're a fan of Mega 10, you can definitely see a lot of the echo for the old school style of Shin Megami Tensei, which is great. So definitely some awesome stuff here. Well, I think that's gonna conclude this video here. Yep, so it allows me to put the save in here. And yeah, with that said, thank you so much for tuning in. And yeah, if you like the content, please be sure to like the video, comment down below what you thought about the game so far. Will you be picking this one up? Because honestly, you really should. And yeah, if you aren't a member already, please subscribe to the channel. It's one way for you to send your love. And yeah, it's thank you so much for doing that. Now, of course, I'm going to be doing a lot more coverage of Monarch. You definitely saw a lot of things probably in that last boss battle if you stuck around, which are very unique. So, I'll have to move that. So you probably saw quite a few interesting things there. So yeah, definitely if you want to hear more about what that sort of stuff is and learn how to do it and everything like that, stay subscribed to the channel and you'll find out soon enough. Anyway, this is Sho. Thank you so much, and catch you later. Take care, and cheers!